our sites, whatever. That'll be
Yeah,
cool.
I'm just down to connect and actually talk more with people because I feel like I don't know, it's more engaging, and especially for me because the reason why I started this is because I'd like to hear from other photographers and like learn from them on like what it is that they're doing to you know, make a living if they are, or maybe they're not, or just, pick their brains because like you see and read about these photographers on like social media stuff, but you never hear any video content about them,
Hmm.
like, or see interviews of them. So I don't know. I'm trying to cultivate that a little bit.
For
And
sure.
yeah,
Are you trying to do it more in like hey, I'm making a video then for my site, or are you just looking to talk to people?
both.
Both. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm trying to
Cool.
learn along the way. It's more about for me trying to just like what am I missing here?
Right.
Like
Well, how
honestly.
yeah, well, how long have you been doing photography?
Um, I mean, gosh, I don't know, probably since like 10th grade, ninth grade,
Okay,
high
yeah.
school,
Yeah.
because I did photography in high school. I did like the whole darkroom thing for 4 years, and that's really my base of like photography was like developing film, black and white.
Yeah.
And my photography teacher, I was his favorite student, Mr.
Cool.
Vernon. If you're watching this, yeah, man, he was the best. He would always let me like stay late and like use the darkroom for whatever, and we talked
Cool.
hockey, and he was great.
Cool.
I miss the
Cool.
smell of all the chemicals.
I do remember the smell. I remember having a photo class. I don't think I took the photo class, but I think I knew people that did. And it was always like you could walk by or be near the dark
Mm.
room. I do remember that.
And I like the swiveling door that spun
Swiveling
around.
door,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally. Totally. So but you've just kept at it then, right? I mean,
Yeah, slowly but surely. I've been consistent with it, trying to I remember I remember a point in my photography career, if you want to call it that, like trying to figure out what it is that I do. Like what is it that I want to focus on and start shooting and like style and stuff. I
mhm.
remember that phase so well. And I think a lot of photographers it's curious to talk to other photographers that are going through that and try to, I don't know, navigate that field a bit.
Yeah, I've
It's tough.
definitely read a fair share of photographers talking about that, of going through so many different phases or styles or whatever they were trying,
And
you
it's the same
know.
for music, I guess, too. Because from
Ooh,
what I understand, that's where you come from.
yeah.
I used to do a little bit. I did it for about maybe a year or so. I used to do PR for bands.
Ooh, okay.
And, I did that for a while. I had a few that landed some good features and stuff. But
Yeah.
ultimately I didn't enjoy it. It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
I mean, everything
It's
is, but
but in the music PR world, it's a lot of work. You get the thing, but then it's immediately on to the next. Like what now? Like, oh, you got that cool thing in an outlet? What's
yeah,
next?
yeah, dude, exactly. It's almost doesn't even mean anything. And I feel
Yep.
the same way when it comes to like photography stuff and getting features and stuff. It's like, yeah, so what sometimes? It's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes it doesn't wow me.
Right.
It's
Well,
cool, but like
sure.
it doesn't mean
It's
anything.
yeah, well, it's just building one thing on top of the other is how it goes, apparently. And it's interesting because it's so easy to get lost in like, well, yeah, I did that thing or I did this, whatever. But like so many people don't know we did those things. And like unless we keep reminding people that we've done those things, like it's easy for people to just be like,
Yeah, I guess it's good for like credentials and resume stuff just to show that you're not some like pleb, like.
Yeah, because that's super easy to do. Yeah, like a handful of people I talk with that are, writing their about pages or their bio pages. And like I go on there like to help them with that. And like a lot of them don't like, wait, professionally, like you're leaving like a whole bunch of stuff off here. No, put that in there.
Hmm.
Because to your point, there's so many like, you know, people that don't have those credentials and they're like trying to be someone and put up a front of who they are. And it's like, who
Yeah. See,
so
this is the interesting thing, man. Like, so I run this Noise magazine thing and
mhm.
always looking at submissions and stuff. This is so interesting.
Hmm.
Oh, and this is why I feel so like visceral about this is like
Mhm.
these people write and not everybody, but like I've seen patterns of this where they write this long thing about themselves, have all these credentials, they went to college for this and that, and then they have this whole long thing describing their photographs, and then I go to look at their work.
Mhm.
Dude, I don't like it. I don't like it. I get maybe like of the submissions that come in, maybe 5 or 10% are actually like good. And you
Wow.
know, I mean, look at the Noise website. That's all my creation. So like you see like the
Mhm.
in my own work, there's like a standard. There's a quality that I'm looking for anyways that I value as good work. And I think a lot of people do too, because I hear it and I see it and I love that. It's more than currency. That is currency to me. I
Mm.
love like providing value and inspirational stuff for people. So
Yeah.
yeah, I see the submissions that come through and people that have this slew of information about themselves. It's like, guys, less is so much more. Like,
Y-
it's
w-
crazy.
Yeah, less of that and just take more photos. Like,
Take more, yeah, take more photos and less like pompous, hyperbolic. I
hmm
don't know, man. It's a tough line to ride because you know, I love like, and honestly, I look at the photos first before I even read
hmm
anything because if like, you know, proof of work, like I want to see like what do
Yeah.
you have? So it's really interesting to like think about all that stuff. People, I think too much about the written word too much
hmm
rather than like for photography purposes, maybe like capturing the word first, and then it's
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, I mean, but it's so much of that in the music world as well,
Mm,
because you could have a whole team behind you. You can have a publicist and a label and a this and a that, and you could have someone that made your album art and
mm.
someone that got you press and someone that got you on a big tour. But you and I both know we could listen to two songs and be like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, dude.
So
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, yeah, it's easy to forget about that base thing of like the work is the work, right?
proof of work.
Proof of work, yeah. Like, and so if you don't have that, if you're not doing that, like, yeah, to your point, and that's almost what makes it easy to feel like how it's been with social media for so long is everybody's just been so like,
Mm-mm.
here I am talking, here I am talking, here I am talking, instead of like showing the work, proof of work,
Proof of
and,
work.
and trying to play that game to like get the big hit or whatever, rather than letting that work.
And it's so exhausting, like doing that too, especially when you're not really getting what you expect out of it. But I think people need to also understand that this is a long game.
So
It's a
long.
long fucking game to play. And like, I think about the way that I drive. I always joke about this whenever I bring this up. I use the cruise control in my 2004 Honda Accord that has 216,000 miles 90% of the time that I'm driving that thing. I'm going for 500,000 miles in that just because of the way that I drive. I don't
hmm
rev the RPMs. I'm not going forward and having this like emotional swing back and forth like people have. Like, you got to be consistent. You got to be the interface of the yin and yang. It's neither this or that. That interface is where to be, and that is the most difficult place to be, man. Like,
hmm
that's something to think about for people that are fucking listening to this thing, because I see it, man. People are always like wavering so heavily back and forth. That's exhausting.
Yeah,
That's not sustainable. And
uh,
like, I practice this. I'm not trying to say I'm perfect or anything, but like,
sure.
I definitely.
Seeing, yeah, I've seen so much of people like, oh, I'm doing this, 30 videos in 30 days thing on TikTok or something like that, or 90 in 90 days or something. It's just like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's one thing to like go on a sprint and do a thing and like challenge yourself, but like the whole like, oh, if everybody does this, you'll find success, and it's just like you can't. That's someone else's map.
yeah. It is. Social media's done something to us,
Yeah, for sure. For
and
sure.
yeah, it's really interesting. So tell me about your Substack a little bit. How long have you been doing that? It seems like you've been pretty successful in that so far.
Since 2021, I started it. Thank you.
2020.
I started as Heavy Metal Email was the name of it because I wanted to work with more heavy metal bands and get them on, start using email lists instead of spending all their time on social media. And it resonated a bit, but bands usually just aren't open to doing stuff unless they kind of come up with the idea, I find.
Hmm.
Like, yeah,
You
it's
gotta connect with that one member though. There's always
what
it's either
exact,
I
yeah.
was that member or, like I was that guy. I was always the guy that like, brought it on my shoulders to take part.
Yeah.
So
And, the prevailing wisdom for music is like you got to be on social media, you got to be on all the platforms, and you got to do that. And then along comes me, who's like, maybe you should have an email list. And it's just like, what? Like we did years ago? Like, yes. And then they're like, whatever, that's dumb. And
yeah,
so,
but Bandcamp takes all the emails and just compiles them there, and it's fine. I don't need a list.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It just automatically, like, oh, yeah, because we all love automated emails when you have a new release. Like, no, export those, put them in something else, send an email, send a real
CSV,
newsletter.
baby.
CSV, right, exactly. Yeah. So just really hesitant, really like it's so much easier to just post on Instagram than it is to, but like you can just learn how to do it and reach more people. And so that was my message. And like it was really get like I wrote a lot towards musicians and bands in the beginning, and so many people left comments of like, yo, this is written for bands, but this applies to books too, or comic books, or photography, or whatever. And I was like, oh, so then I met with the Substack legend Sarah Fay. I did a session with her, and she was very blunt and was like, I don't like the name. I was like, well, and I was thinking of changing the name anyway, but
Hmm.
she said it. She was very blunt about it. I was like 25 minutes into a 30-minute call. And I was like, well, and then I changed the name Social Media Escape Club. And that resonated with a lot more people then because it was obviously more broad, a lot more people talking about leaving social media.
Hmm.
And so yeah, really really went up from there. And now it's just been like having those conversations day in and day out with people about whether deleting, an Instagram account or how to use it like in a way that doesn't, melt your brain.
Hmm.
How, how then, oh, if I just delete it, then what? Then how do I do anything? Like how can I grow? How can I do anything with just an
Right.
email list? And talking about that. Like I think about that stuff all the time and talk about it a lot and get to talk with a lot of people about it. And it's really fun and exciting because so many people are just stuck in, oh, I got to be on social media, I got to make reels, and I come along and be like, well, if you just send an email once a week, by the numbers, you can probably reach just as many people, and that's just once a week. So
Once a week.
yeah, and that in the email world for a lot of us is like, whoa, that's a ton. Um, but it's not because like we used to post several times an hour on social media
Mm.
sometimes, if there was an
Yeah.
award show going on or something, or a new album came out and people were tweeting and stuff. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, once a week at most, I guess, twice a
Yeah.
month, whatever,
I think people just need to, I mean, like myself, I mean, I started Substack because Tom told me that I should probably consider doing it. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a while.
Yeah,
And so I did it, and it's
cool.
been a good practice, good exercise to write more and just like, because that's one thing about me is sometimes I feel that, and I'm sure I'm speaking for some other people too, it
Mm.
feels to be like more reserved, more like, who the fuck am I to share what it is that I'm thinking about every day. But then it gets to the point where I think you just need time. I think time is like, I love the quote. What is it? Time is the greatest teacher, but it kills all of its students. Like
Sure.
like
Yeah.
that. Like people just kind of need time to get to the point where, all right, well, now is the time to do this. So I don't know. I feel like that's kind of where I've been and why it took me so long to do some particular things and why I'm still developing on trying to send more email kind of based stuff and connect more and share more and do these kinds of things. So I think encouragement, better access to hearing this stuff.
Yeah.
So hopefully these kind of conversations spark that. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, because yeah, a lot for me has been getting away from the platforms and like if you just show up in someone's inbox, like there it is. That's it. Like
Do
someone
you,
opens, go ahead.
do you just use Substack now or do you
As a platform, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 just Substack. Yeah, deleted everything else.
How long have you been um legacy free, I guess?
No, I deleted Twitter last year after being on there since 2006. I was one of
Wow.
the first 3,000 users on there.
Cool.
I'd like user number 2,700 or something like that. Deleted Instagram at the start of this year. Deleted Facebook finally this year. I wasn't using it, but like it was tied to a former client's web page or page. So I had to, hey, if I delete my account, your thing goes away. They're like, yeah, okay, go ahead, do it.
The thing with Facebook for me is that I love the marketplace. It's
I,
such a great resource for
I
selling stuff. I wish that you could be
mm-hmm.
a part of that without subscribing to the Facebook and everything else and just
Yeah.
utilize that in some way because it works really great. I've sold a lot of cameras and stuff. So,
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. I've been tempted with that. I've been trying to sell some bike stuff locally,
nice. I'm a
and
bike guy.
a bicycle guy. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some stuff I just want to get rid of and that I'm just not using. And
Lots of good specialized hard rocks on there lately.
oh, really?
Some 90s frames. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I love the 90s stuff.
Dude,
Yeah, I was always
yeah,
looking for that
word.
stuff. Yeah.
I have a Kona Hahana
Okay.
frame from what was it like a 94 frame? I think I'm 97. I think I got that right. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's really sick. I'll send you a picture. Maybe we'll like put it on here. But
I love that stuff. Yeah, because yeah, I grew up like in the 90s. In my hometown, we at one point had 5 bike shops in my little it was the Poconos. It's the Pocono region of
yeah.
Pennsylvania. It's just 2 hours north of Philadelphia, an hour from New York City. It was just trails and stuff, and 5 bike shops, and like we would all go mountain biking and stuff. Like we had bands and stuff, but we would go mountain biking on the weekends, and it was so great. And just like steel frames, no suspension, or like
Yeah.
it was the
Dude, hell
it
yeah.
was
You would love my bike then.
oh cool, cool.
I
Yeah, it
and
was so
I
great.
like, I modded I changed like the bracket. I changed like a bunch
Yeah,
of other shit, the gear
cool.
ratios and stuff. So,
Yeah, and so yeah, I love that stuff. Back in I'll tell you this, back in 2011, I had gotten my hours cut at my day job. I was an editor at AOL Music, and
oh,
I was a contractor, so they limited my hours. I was the editor of a heavy metal site called Noise Creep, and then they were like, no, you can only work 8 hours a day. Now that job is normally like a 12, 14-hour day job, just because you're an editor, you're running a site. And I was like, well,
mm,
this sucks. So it's like, well, if they only want me working 8 hours a day and I can work remote, I got rid of all my stuff and just got on my bike and rode to my friends' houses from New York City. So I rode from I ended my lease, got rid of all my stuff, put a too small chrome messenger bag on my back with my laptop, and I rode to Rutherford, New Jersey. I rode up to the George Washington Bridge and all that.
mm,
And then from there, I rode to Hackettstown, New Jersey, like a couple days later, or a week later, and then my hometown, and then Philadelphia, and I just kind of kept going. And as you go further west, the towns get further apart. So I then started putting my bike under the bus of a Greyhound just to go for it. And I made my way all
right.
the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, nice. I have
So,
some family out there actually.
do you?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, me and bikes, we go way back. So I don't ride quite so far anymore because I don't like riding on the roads because everyone's
Mm.
looking at these.
Some crazy people,
Uh,
man. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm not a big fan of that anymore. So
Good
hence
call.
getting rid of some of my bike stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually selling that Kona I was just describing.
Really?
Yeah, just trying to lighten up. Just trying to lighten up of the things that I have.
Yes.
Be
I
honest.
I've been thinking that too. Yeah, I have 4 bikes at home and I ride none of them. So why do I need 4 bikes?
No.
That's yeah, I know. I know.
It's like me and cameras, I've been
Hmm.
offloading some cameras. I'm selling a Canon P
Hmm.
film camera that I don't use. I think it's really cool, but I just don't use it,
That's the
you know.
rangefinder or something, isn't it?
Yeah, Canon
Yeah.
P, man.
It's
It's the poor man's Leica is what the name of it is.
yeah,
But
I
honestly, the design of it though, it's fucking cool. I have it boxed up. I'd bring it off if it wasn't,
it's
but
like 10 pounds. It's so heavy. I bought one off eBay like a year ago or something like that just to
it's a
get back into
solid
stuff.
little thing, man.
Yeah.
But
But
Um,
yeah, if you don't use it, like it's taking up space.
and it's just interesting time that everybody I think is starting to resonate in this mindset of actually getting rid of shit, which is
Hmm.
great because I think I don't know, it's like the whole calorie thing. Like you eat less, so like you're actually better off. I
Hmm.
mean, you
Yeah.
think about like energy and digestion, like you having your body constantly on, so to speak,
Hmm.
digesting continuously. It's like, yo, give it a fucking break.
Yeah, no, totally.
Honestly,
Totally.
it's like excessive entropy.
Mm.
Honestly, like there's always entropy because there's always some sort of waste byproduct because everything requires energy. But yeah, when people just eat constantly or just like like they accumulate so many things, it's like you're gonna have problems somewhere down the line. So,
Yeah. Yeah, with the things, like, I mean, my dad passed away a couple months ago. We didn't
I'm
have a
sorry.
great relationship. It's all good, thank you. But like, I mean, he had a trailer full of just stuff, so much stuff. That's why I went to Florida, and it
Mm,
was just all this stuff. And now I have some of it, and my sister has some of it, and we're like, what do we do with this fucking stuff?
Facebook Marketplace.
I can't now, but yeah, but no, totally. Like it's that idea because that made me and my sister talk about that a lot of like, whatever. I hope it's not soon, but like when either of us passes away, it's like shit, my sister will be in my room, like cleaning out my shit. And it's just
Mm,
like, how much
that's
shit
an
do I need?
that's an interesting thought. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I kind of morbid, but
No, it's true,
realist. Like,
man.
yeah, like I don't want to go to my sister's house and have to sort through her Disney stuff or whatever. Like,
Yeah. You got to offload some of those things, man.
yeah. It's interesting though, because we're in such a time or culture though of like people loved I remember seeing it on Instagram, like people collecting stuff, just stuff like Star Wars stuff. I'm a Star Wars
Pokemon
nerd,
cards.
Pokemon cards
I mean, I was there, but
or sneakers, or
sneakers,
I got four bikes. Like you just
definitely
gotta have this
clothing,
stuff. Clothing,
jackets,
yeah,
pants. Like you don't need 8 pairs of jeans, dude.
yeah, yeah, big
You know what I
time.
mean?
Yep.
I have like 2 pairs of pants. I have like 2 pairs of shorts. I've got maybe 12 shirts, and honestly, like it's all you need,
You're
to be
good,
honest.
right?
And your laundry is so much easier to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you can use the low setting on the water. So you're not
That's
it's like
true.
it's a no-brainer, dude. I can't
Yeah.
believe how simple life can actually be if you want
Uh-huh.
this. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. So all that, even to bring that back digitally then is just like what? Then you got to be on five social media networks and update four different things over here and this, that, and the other, and upload your photos to I don't know all the different photo sites anymore, but
yeah, man, it's
what
exhausting. It's
yeah.
like that's not sustainable.
No.
You can do it for maybe a year or two.
Yeah, you could grind and do that and like, but
Yeah.
it's so much of that stuff just can kind of take away from what we want to do. Like if you're even just as something like just joking about laundry, like doing one less load is like more time to do something else during the week. Like I was thinking of even just like how easy we think it is, to look at our phones for 10 minutes at a time. Well, 10 minutes every day for a month is 5 hours. 5 hours in a month, just a month.
Mm.
And like, what more other stuff could we do or not do? We could either just stare out the window or read a book or something like that. That's like 5 hours is so much time.
Sit in the sun actually get some benefit from doing nothing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm taking walks all the time.
Sun's
I'm
your best friend, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love getting out for walks, and now that it's cooler and stuff like that, it's just like, yeah, the sun, the wind, all that stuff feel, and not listening to a podcast or music while I'm doing it, and just
Yes. See, I say that if everyone just has an hour in their day where they don't have their phone, they're like disconnected, they just
mm-hmm,
don't have anything, just 1 hour a day, just do that
mm-hmm,
forever.
yeah,
And you'll like, dude, I think you'll live longer by that alone.
probably because everything on our phones, is yeah, we're just or the podcasts or whatever, we're just ingesting all this stress
Yeah,
and worry
it's
and
so much information that we're always consuming, which can be helpful, but it can also hurt because it's like, you're shutting yourself off from actually connecting with your own thoughts for a moment.
Mhm.
Like try to get to the point where it's like you thinking and not trying to think about what you just heard or whatever, but have that time.
Right, reacting to some, you and I both know there's something to be upset about every moment of with the internet. Like
Yeah.
everything you read across 8,000 different things. Like there's probably some controversy in the photography world this morning about someone that did something or said this or published whatever. And that's just like this tiny little world. I used to say that a lot to one of my good friend and a client of mine when I was more active on Twitter. I would be on there and just looking at like all the Twitter fights that were going on, like metal Twitter. And I would see like this person fighting with this, and they're talking, and they called this person out, and they're saying this, and now they're not going to go on tour, and this, and I would say to my buddy, I'm like, "Oh, did you see that thing that happened? You see that big blow up?" He's like, "No, I was working."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Shit, yeah, I should just be
Yeah, that
working."
kind of stuff that fucking happens on that kind of stuff. You can't imagine them speaking that way person to person. It's like
Right.
they're using, they're hiding behind the screens to talk this kind of way, and it's so I
Hmm.
don't know, it's so annoying to see that
Hmm.
because I think that like, dude, if you guys were at a coffee table sitting across from each other, you guys would disagree, I'm sure, but like you wouldn't come to the point where it's like almost distasteful. It's like embarrassing.
Right. If you were at a show, you probably wouldn't talk like that. Maybe in the back parking lot, you might get in each other's face
Take
or
it out in the
something.
pit, dude. Take
Take
it
it
out in the
out.
pit.
Take it outside. Yeah, and let whatever. Yeah, but like, yeah, it's so everything's so public and out there, and yeah, it can be exhausting. And so, yeah, to that point, like, I do not miss being on Twitter and seeing that all the time. So,
Yeah, I'm still lingering on X because there's a lot of like I don't know interesting news that I see and there's some funny stuff, but like it's definitely a lot better from what I used to see, which is really interesting. But yeah, man, I agree. I guess this is where Noster comes in. Like I've been on Noster for like probably a month and a half now. It's
yeah.
so great. It's so like very forward thinking people that just like get it, and it's just like great conversations, and it's just like it's such a unique place. And what we were talking about earlier on how you were saying how difficult it is to post on one and then post on another and
Hmm.
all these other like apps that you have. Well, in Nostr, it's really cool because you post on one and it goes all the other clients simultaneously. So it's like
Yeah.
a very unique model there. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna take your word for it.
Yeah, man. It's
I
definitely a learning curve,
yeah.
but like
Yeah.
anything new and
Hmm.
because Nostr's been around for about 2 years now, two and a
Yeah.
half years now, and it's come a long way from what I've heard. And there's
Yeah.
so many new developments happening.
Right.
But yeah, that's the most unique thing about it is that you have your own unique set of keys, and you're able
Hmm.
to plug in into one application and then plug into another application, and all your follows, all your notes, everything
Yeah.
goes and connects automatically on the other one. So
Okay.
if you're cut off from one, you still retain all your followers. You still retain all your ability to make money from whatever it is that you're doing instead of being cut off from like say like Twitter and like you're actually monetizing your content there. And then you say
Hmm.
something that's disagreeable or you upset something and they're like, "Oh no, you're done." And then you just lose all of your time that you spent on that.
Yeah.
So Nostr solves that issue, and
Hmm.
people are going to realize this more and more, and they're going to flock to it. They're going to embrace it. It's just like, any new thing like the internet. I mean, I'm sure you have some insights when you're growing up with the whole internet age, which I'm curious to hear.
Oh my
Like,
goodness. Yeah, in the 90s,
yeah,
like 90,
tell me
94,
that because
95. My
I
goodness.
was born in 91, so I
Oh man, I was a freshman in high school. Um,
wow.
yeah, with the internet in 94 or so, 95, that's like when we actually had web pages then and GeoCities and like you could set up, I remember setting up band websites for bands back then, like with fire fire gifts or whatever. And but it was so everywhere. Like it was just so what mostly it was, and I say this to this day, is the internet it was a tool, not a destination. It
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
it was a thing you just used to facilitate going. Oh, for me, actually, big time, more so than the websites and such, was IRC, Internet Relay Chat, which is still a thing, I guess.
Yeah,
The,
Noster, there's a thing called relays there, and
okay,
yeah, yeah.
so it was like chat and Internet Relay Chat, and there was channels. I don't know how you set them up. People did, but there was one called Channel Straight Edge. I grew up in the hardcore scene, so like
Yeah.
that was a big one. But it was like super elitist straight edge stuff. So someone made one that was PA straight edge. Not everybody was straight edge, but on that.
Mm,
But that's where like all my friends hung out, and then like friends in my town and other towns and stuff. And that's like where we found out about shows, like through chat. Like we would just get on there like whenever, where our desktop computer was, two or three times a day, or
mm,
into the evening. Sometimes you'd play video games and have chat up on your computer. And yeah, then you would just, oh, that showed, and that was kind of pre cell phones too. So it was just like, yo, there's a show tomorrow, you should come up. Great, I'll meet you at the grocery store, Wegmans,
yeah.
tomorrow at like 5 p.m. And that was it. Like there was no like, oh, I can't make it or anything. You just went or you didn't and met people or didn't, and it's a wild time.
Mm,
But like, yeah, we made it work like that because it was the tool, and yeah, we hung out there a bit more often. You know, AOL Instant Messenger came along and fucked everything up for IRC, but everyone moved to that then, and then you know we were doing, you know, as the web kind of evolved, and then we got Blogger or Zanga or LiveJournal and stuff like that. People started
mm,
building stuff, and
yeah.
eventually
No, it's
blogs.
it's 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 happening again right now on
Oh
Noster.
yeah, yeah, it's got to,
Yeah.
yeah, because the big corporate interests came in and like commodified everything, and you know here's where everybody goes now, and it's like, you know, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or whatever, or you know, front page of whatever website. And now it's just like, well, no, we can build our own web pages and stuff, and like we don't have to go to them 90 times a day.
Mm,
So if it's just a listing of something or a blog, which is how so much, I mean, that's how everything started for me. In 2001 I started a music blog, and like, I mean, that changed everything for me. Like literally it's how I, you know, it's why I do what I do today. That was 23 years ago.
how old were you?
Oh God.
I'm just curious.
20,
Okay.
20 or so, 21.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. That, yeah, 2001. And yeah, just started a music blog because the other sites weren't covering the bands that I liked or knew about, at least in Pennsylvania, like some of the smaller bands, which at the time there was like this small band called Me Without You,
oh yeah.
who then became not very small. They kind of blew up. So that was from kind of my scene. And but yeah, I just kept doing that for years and years. And like I didn't know what the hell I was doing, you know. And then I got
Mm,
some friends and we started updating it together, and there was some drama with that when you get people together. There was like I
mm,
was, you know, behind the scenes stuff. It was wild, but like yeah, I did that for 7 or 8 years, and that's how I got into at AOL Music. Because
that's
my
cool.
blog was pointing enough traffic to their site that they like saw what my site was. So when I interviewed there, they're like, "Oh, you're that guy." Also, when I
Mm.
interviewed for that job, I wore a suit. I went in
Oh
there with a
fuck
suit.
yeah.
It was 2008. So it's kind of like, yeah, that's what you got. It's 2006. Yeah, that's what you got to do. That's what you got
Yeah,
to do.
I was
But
watching something the other day. Like, if you look back in like the, I don't know, 20s, 30s, 40s, every guy was wearing a suit and a hat.
sure, yeah,
On the streets, you see like
yeah,
video and photos, everyone was
yep,
wearing a suit and a hat. Like, I think
yep.
we should bring that back.
Oh, that was awful. No, I want to work in band t-shirts. Um, But that's what I did because everyone there was working. They all had wore jeans and band t-shirts. And yeah, one of the people there that worked, they're like, "Oh, you're the guy that wore the suit, right?" I was like, "Yeah, that was me." Um,
Hey, you were the vector point though.
but I got, yeah, sure, sure. I got the job. Actually, it was a 3 month contract, and that was it. And then like I
Mm.
was out, but I stayed with the company a little bit here and there. But yeah, all because I started a music blog, or all because got on the internet in 95 or so, 94. All because
Early adopter, man.
really down. Well, also because my parents bought a computer way back when I was a kid, and I learned how to program a little bit of BASIC and whatever. And so,
Cool.
yeah, kind of kept with it, you know.
Yeah, that's a tough grind to, you know, learn that kind of stuff and keep with it.
But at the same time, I didn't think any time during that of like, well, when's this going to pay off? When's my break? It was just like in the moment of just doing it. And to your point, when you said earlier of like trying to hustle or trying to make it go faster, it's just like, this is over 2 decades of me doing this. Like,
Yeah.
and I still don't have it like figured out, like still
You'll
learning, but
yeah, man,
like,
that's the thing. Like you never figure it out.
right. And if you think you
It's always
have, like,
fleeting.
yeah, yeah, there's, I mean, to bring back Noah Kalina, he just put up a post earlier today of like, he's had more failures than successes, and he's the daily photo guy. Like, no way. He was parodied on The Simpsons. He has it all figured out. No, he doesn't. Like, so I mean, it's the long game, like you said earlier. It's the long
Yeah.
game. Like, if you think there's a shortcut, if you think there's some hack or something that it's not, that's not how it works.
Nah, man, you gotta drive with that cruise control.
I like that idea, the cruise control, and
I
also
get
not, yeah,
38 miles per gallon on my
wow,
Honda on the interstate. 38. It's like
that's
I think
bananas.
the written tag is like for 31 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, and I measure it, I clock it because it's like a game
Ooh,
to me.
I love
And
that.
I
Yeah.
and I don't want to buy another car. I want to make sure that thing lasts. And if I get that to like a million miles,
A million.
dude, that'd be
That
sick. That's a
that would
blog
be.
post right there.
That would be. Well, it's a blog post now. Cruise control and
I
38
need to
miles per
write
gallon.
something, yeah.
Yeah. That's not something a lot of people talk about.
I
So,
know. That's what I tell everybody about that. And they're like, I don't use it. I'm like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you should use it. It saves gas. It
I
like
should
keeps
use
your
it.
car healthy. It's like, and it
Yeah.
teaches you something about like slowing down, keeping it consistent, and like take your time. And it's like, I don't know. It's makes sense to me.
Yeah, patience. Where I live is very close to um I'm forgetting the name of the people that don't drive cars. They
Amish.
Amish, yes. I live here and I
It's
it's
okay.
forgot it. Yeah. But they'll ride bikes on the roads. And these are back roads. And so like there's stretches where you just can't pass somebody safely,
Mm,
for a mile or two because it's so windy.
mm.
And my goodness, there's so many people that get so upset by this. And like I'm just like, well, I'll eventually pass this bike. And
Yeah.
then I have an accelerator and I'll be able to do 60 miles an hour later and like it'll be fine. I'll get to
Then
where
you're
I'm going.
done.
But there's people that are just like they're so upset by cyclists on the road. It's so you'll get where you need to go. Calm down.
Yeah. Yeah, those people, man, there's plenty of them. I think that they're the majority, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. But I like the cruise control idea. I might try that out. I just
Yeah.
I just
What
got
kind
my
of car do
car
you drive?
drive a 2015 Chevy Sonic.
Chevy Sonic. I can't imagine that in my head right now.
It's a little hatchback.
Oh, okay. It's one of those.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. They
I'm
have.
kind of a car guy, so I can kind of
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, it's a little hatchback.
cool.
Whatever. Yeah, I got that in like 2019 or so, and yeah, just passed inspection yesterday.
Oh
Fine.
yeah, you guys have to do inspection in the north.
Yeah, inspection and emissions test too.
Emissions test, yeah, that's once a year, right?
Both of them. Yeah, yeah. Every year.
But that's free, isn't it?
I think I paid for it. I
Oh,
paid. I definitely paid that money yesterday. Yeah,
oh,
or maybe
I
it's like
definitely
20.
paid for that.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't walk out of there for free. No. Yeah, no.
Huh.
Inspection is like 20 or 30 bucks, and I think the
Oh,
emission is 20 or 30 bucks. Yeah.
no, I didn't realize that. I mean,
Yeah.
we have to pay in the South. We have the tag on our plate tag that
Yeah.
we have to pay. I don't think you guys have that though in the
We don't
North.
have the tags anymore, no. But
Yeah.
registration, yeah, we got to,
Registration.
yeah, it's $50 a year now. So,
Yeah. Ours is like 7,500 bucks.
wow,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
lot.
stupid. I
Yeah.
know.
Well, all that stuff, all this car stuff it's all stupid. And the Easy Pass and the tolls and
Oh yeah.
all that stuff.
They
Yeah.
where I live in South Carolina, we used to have this toll for the longest time on the bridge, but they finally removed it because
Oh,
they realized, oh, we paid for this bridge like 10 years ago, and people were like fed up with it. So they actually removed the toll. It was amazing.
wow. That's
So
rad.
good things actually still happen.
They can happen. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. My goodness. Taking away something that makes money. That's
I
wild.
know what? That's fucking crazy.
Right?
What
But
are
it
you
can be
guys
done.
doing?
Right. Tell hey, tell me about this book. Tell me about the book that you
Blood,
put
sweat,
out.
and tears on that one. Literally, like
Yeah.
that fucking thing took me forever to.
Yeah.
That's one of mine. There's
This
a couple of mine in there. That one's mine.
is
You
it.
just happened to flip to it. That's
Oh, I
funny.
did. Look at that.
Nice.
Oh, there you
Noise.
are. Yeah, there's your name. Yeah.
I was on yeah, I was on acid when I took that one. I
Right.
was on a bike ride with my
That's
friend.
great. All right. All right.
But
Uh yeah, this stuff's beautiful.
yeah,
Where's that
so
photo go? The acid photo. Cool.
so like, Noise magazine itself is it stems from like what I like to shoot, which is very like you can call it humorous, very comical, but like very animated
Yeah.
kind of work. So I started Noise, gosh, 10 years ago going on now, which
Yeah.
is crazy to think about. And yeah, I just wanted to start a publication to support other photographers that like myself that do what I do. And I always submitted stuff to other publications and I got so annoyed by not hearing back or, not getting anything back or and
Yeah.
yeah, so I started this and it's been a lot of work and this book took me like 2 years, 2 years to like and it was during
Okay.
COVID. It was
Okay.
so there was like a lot of delays and then
Sure.
yeah, man, it was a lot, but I'm glad I got it done because that book is something that I wanted to do for myself, obviously, but kind of like
Sure.
show the world that like this is what I think a photography book should be,
Mm-hmm.
from my own entitled opinion, but like it's something
Sure.
that's like I don't know, man, it's really cool. Like the little squares, the little I don't know if you noticed, like there's so many nuances in this book. Shout out to my boy Elliot for helping me lay this stuff out.
Yeah.
So
Like
these
these?
little, yeah, so those little color squares, there's three colors that are basically mapping every photo on every
Okay.
spread.
Yeah.
So, you look at other traditional photography books and it's usually just like a blank page or it's like, their name or something at the bottom. But
Yeah.
I wanted something humorous to like accentuate noise and the whole premise of that idea. So
Yeah.
that's that was my idea. I've showed that to everybody and they're like, "Oh, I love that." I'm like, "All right, that's something original to
Whoa.
my
I didn't even realize that. Yeah.
participation." Yeah, dude, there's so many
So it's just
nuances.
like the photo is here, but it's
Yeah,
just
as it's
these,
superimposed over there and there's three colors
but
mapping
it's
to where it would
just the
be.
three colors.
Three colors.
Wow. That's neat. I
It's
didn't even notice
simple.
that.
It's
Yeah.
simple, but it's like that's the whole game essence of noise and what I kind of want to invoke to people when they see it.
Right.
So it's playful. It should be something inviting to, you know.
And you just decided to make this. Like,
Yeah, and I
whatever, I'm gonna
funded
do
I
it.
funded it myself from
Yeah.
doing this for so long, just saving the money and investing it back in it to itself and like
Right.
yeah, it was like the most expensive thing I've ever like bought for myself to like invest
Sure.
in. It's fucking crazy. It's been a lot of work to push this thing. I've got 500 copies of this. I
Yeah.
think I'm down to the last 55 now. So,
Wow.
and
That's
I'm trying
great.
to honestly just get rid of these. So I was selling them for like 60. Now it's like 25. So
Uh-huh.
people listening to this, fucking please like clear
Yeah,
these
get
out for
this.
me,
Get
man.
this. Beautiful. It's yeah,
Thank you.
it's great. Yeah, it feels great. It's put together so nicely. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like that's a photo book. Like and it's just neat to see it too though of like it's just you and you're like, no, this is
Yeah.
it.
like
So
this
yeah.
this is the thing. What's really funny, like how you said like this is a photo book. Yeah, if you remember in the beginning of Alice in Wonderland, how
Mm,
she wishes for a book with nothing but pictures.
yeah.
I made that fucking book. This is the book. Like
Okay.
I have that like that was part of the motivation for me to do this because like I like looking at pictures more than reading. That's just me.
Sure.
I love reading stuff, obviously. But if you look at the book, there's not a lot of words. There's not a lot of like
Hmm.
written stuff. That introduction in the book,
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
love it. My friend Dane, who actually worked with he wrote a lot of the bios for the bands that I did PR for.
Oh, cool.
So I worked with him and I invited
Hmm.
him to write the introduction because I
Yeah.
love his writing. And if you read it, it's like
Yeah.
it's so good. It's my favorite part of the book. He
Cool.
nails the spirit of what I wanted to say. But yeah, a book but nothing but pictures for Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that too. I mean, like obviously you didn't, you were the driving force behind it, but there were other people involved.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
mean
other
it
photographers.
wouldn't
Right.
exist. It wouldn't exist for these photographers that share this similar mindset, this similar value of seeing the world and like photography, of course, but like I don't know, it's just nice to have a book contemplated for sharing this kind of vision, you know?
Yeah.
It's like very because I do all the curation, I do all the sequencing, so
Hmm.
it's just I want to encourage other people to like photograph this way because it's easy. You don't need to have some sort of like pretentious, deep, thought out thing behind it, which is fine. You can do that. I don't
Hmm.
care. There's a lot of great work about with that.
Hmm.
I come from a more fun DIY punk standpoint, dude. Like that's just where I come from. I never
Yeah.
went to school, like university for it, or I'm not trained in. I didn't know about William Eggleston and Joel Meyerowitz until like 3 years ago. Like, so I have this very pure, like, just curiosity of photography and finding what it is that I like doing. And then
Yeah.
yeah, that's really what noise really stems from.
Right.
Very innocent finding, stumbling along the way, and
But I again too though I go back to just like doing something with other people and having other people involved. Like as you might saw earlier today, like we're
mm,
not meant to be lonely content creators.
no, I've learned a lot from this process.
Yeah, I bet.
I love it. That's why I keep doing it. I feel compelled to keep doing it because of that. And I notice the improvement in my own work, and I love
Hmm.
connecting with other people that help that happen.
How much a part of your day is probably talking and connecting with other people like that?
Not enough.
Okay.
Not
All right, that's
enough. And
fair.
I'm trying to do that more. I'm
Yeah.
obviously always looking at photography stuff online because
Hmm.
I'm just consumed in it. But like this is this is my first really my first dive into doing this with someone. So it's fun to
The book,
uh
you mean?
the book, well, I mean, with the book, I've released like little zines in the past with
Yeah.
noise.
Okay.
I don't share those anywhere. I mean, if people have them, hang on to that because that's some
Someday.
valuable shit
Yeah.
right there. But I've sold out of every single one of them that I did. They were like little
Cool.
runs of like 100 staple bound
Great. Yeah.
zines, and it was
Yeah.
fun. But I call this the big boy book. Like it's the
It's big. Yeah.
it's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine having 500 of them.
Oh man, when the palette
That's a
showed up,
pallet. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, fucking here, 2 years. Let's fucking go. Let's push these
Wow.
things because I don't know where to put them.
Yeah. That's a lot. How
Yeah.
did you sell most of them online?
Um, Actually, this is a good point to talk about too. Book fairs. So
Ooh,
I would sell more at book fairs than I would do online.
really?
And I was kind of disappointed in the online results of the sales because maybe shipping was really high again because of COVID and just shipping rates in general and like
Hmm.
the price tag of it as well because it was very expensive to make and like I need to like eat and stuff too.
Yeah.
So um, but the book fairs, I would kill the book fairs. Like,
Really?
absolutely, I would slam it. Like, everyone loved the book, and I would sell quite a bit of them. So the majority of them did go from book fairs that I did. I did Boston, two, three times, I think.
Yeah.
Um, No, New Jersey Art Book Fair a couple times. I did Baltimore recently. Um, yeah, all of them went really well.
They're specific, you mean though? Like art book
Yeah,
fairs,
art book
like you
fairs.
said?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have the Boston poster right here.
Okay, cool. Cool.
November 4th, 2022. That was the first one I did.
Wow.
Boston. Yeah, it went
It,
really fucking cool. It was
it,
like the venue was beautiful too.
yeah.
Cyclorama.
Okay. What is that? It's just a
It's this huge like it's like a dome, a glass
ooh.
dome, like old sphere. I forgot what the building was used for, but it's like this circular
Ooh.
oriented building,
Yeah.
and all the tables were like going around in a circle, huge space. It was such
Ooh.
a good first thing for me to attend. It was like
Yeah.
top tier bar for me to like, okay, well, I'm gonna compare everything to this now because I this is
Yeah.
great.
Wow.
But all the other ones I did were really fun, and I met
Yeah.
a lot of cool people and sold a bunch of books. So
Yeah. So I mean, you said you started with 500. Like, so you'd sell like 75, 100 at a time at some of these
at
things?
at book fairs, the Boston one was 3 days really because the first day was
Okay.
like a pre-welcome day for early signups.
Mm. Yeah.
So 2 days for these festivals, art fairs rather, and I don't know. I would sell probably yeah like 50 at least.
That's rad. Yeah.
And these people are paying $60 for this book that they saw for the first time that somehow resonates with them instantly. And that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like the spirit of this book is like it's so ingrained with like how I feel about it. And I'm so glad it's so receptive, like in real life with people versus online presence. Dude, like being person to person is
Hmm.
so much better than selling shit online.
Yeah.
I need to do it more. I want to do it more. I'm doing another book fair in Brooklyn on
Mm.
December 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that.
Okay.
Press Play is the name of
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
So if you're around,
Yeah,
feel
maybe.
free.
Maybe coming to the city.
And
Uh
hopefully that'll be the one where I sell the rest of these books.
yeah, totally, totally. It's interesting you say like because what you're talking about though too is like if it's these art book fair kind of thing. Because I know Tom and Diana were just at a
Like like a arts and crafts kind of
arts
thing.
and crafts thing, yeah, and they wrote a little bit of how that didn't go so well. But that's a different audience, that's a different crowd. So
Yeah, they
it's
came to when I was attending the second New Jersey Art Book Fair, it might have been the first one. They came and they, saw my table, saw everything else. But the thing with those art book fairs is that it's like other artists they have books, they have like other like cool prints and stuff. It's very
mhm.
like curated stuff versus
Yeah.
like knickknacks and,
Hmm.
jelly and things like that. It's just different venue.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
So maybe that's why it didn't. If they
Oh,
attended
totally.
something like, Boston or they would get some sales for sure.
Right, right. But I mean, too, and they said this too of like it was a learning experience. So,
Mm,
and they got some people on their email list and stuff.
yeah.
But like, yeah, it's all about. I mean, and that's the thing is like finding your people and finding like the best place to put your thing. Like,
Find the others.
find the others.
Find
Yeah,
the others.
yeah. And so, I mean, you seem to have found that with this book circuit kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
So,
The circuit is joining that book fair circuit, and it's cool because
yeah,
it's so funny. I'm blanking on her name. I'm so bad with names,
it
but
happens. On Zoom, we forget
I
everybody's
know,
name. I know.
especially.
I know.
But if she's hearing us, she knows who she is. So, Open Editions is her publication, Open
Yeah.
Edition,
Yeah.
and she met me one year in Boston, and she's my mushroom friend. Like we love mushrooms and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
The next year that we both attended, she brought me some chanterelles. She brought them on
Okay.
the plane to bring to me to the book fair for me.
Okay.
Like, so this
Whoa.
that's a deep head for like mushroom appreciation for like what?
Goodness.
Fuck yeah, dude, you
All
brought me
right. All right.
mushrooms? Hell yeah.
Yeah. But
Like gourmet mushrooms, not like
oh, okay.
psychedelics, even
Oh,
though
okay.
I would
Okay.
take them.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, super funny
Uh,
that she would do that.
no, but again though, find your people and like meet people in real life and get on Zoom calls and like I mean so much of what we do, like how we do it online, going back to you saying like you didn't see many book sales online because it's just a different world. It's flat, it's two-dimensional, and like I mean you can put all the product shots up of this that you want, but like
Yeah, and another
someone
thing is something to feel, to pick it up,
yes.
and also to look at the marbles that I had on the table because 'cause I'm always
Oh,
the yeah, I have, like,
okay.
a nice collection of marbles that I should probably keep because 'cause they're some of them are worth, like, $5 each,
Okay.
like
I didn't know
but
that was
I
a
would
thing.
have
All right.
marbles on the table, and I would let them pick 3 if they bought a book.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
and everyone fucking loved the marbles, and I would do it every single book fair and be like oh, and I would have a plant or something on the table, so I would be the plant and marble book table, so
But
people would know
so
me as that.
so much of that though speaks to exactly what goes on in music too.
Yeah, that's why I did it.
Is you're right. Is go out where people are and do a thing in front of people, like play a song, have a book, put marbles on the table, whatever. And like the idea that we're just going to put stuff up online and we're going to be discovered and that's going to bring in all this money or whatever and notoriety, like everyone's doing that. And it's harder to go to one of those book fairs. Like I don't know how many were at, like say, the one that you talked about with the big circle. Like,
Good turnout.
yeah, but the number of people selling there probably wasn't 2,000 people. It was
No, there's
it was
probably maybe 50
50. Like that's
vendors, 60?
right. And you compare that to the internet. What's 50? Well,
Yeah.
50 sold a couple books for you. So, because it was curated. I mean, so much of that is, and that's what all this is curation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spotify, I can listen to everything. Yeah, but when your friend tells you check out this band, you're gonna check
Yeah.
out that
That's
band.
the thing I really enjoyed, and I never really thought of myself becoming this kind of thing, but, like, curation, like, it is definitely an art in itself
Hmm.
because I guess it's I had a mushroom trip once, and it told me that you can't teach taste.
Ooh.
It's something that you develop over time,
Hmm.
and I never forget that, but I really do think that's true. And
Yeah.
this whole, like, curating thing, it's really fun. I really, really enjoy it. I love, like I was able to team up with, this gallery in Tokyo recently,
Mm.
curating that little
Wow.
show. So that was really fun, and I wanna do more of that. I would love to work with, like, other galleries and artists or whatever that would love help in, like, curating stuff, just like any sort of, like, publisher and music that would help curate, like, some sort of, like I don't know. Yeah, it's just, like, really fun to do that stuff. So I'm trying to find out how do I keep doing that? And I don't know sometimes. It's hard.
It sounds like you just do it by just keep trying to do it,
I
right?
just keep trying, man,
Keep
like
trying. Keep Well, you keep having these conversations, keep talking to people that are like that when you talk about like this crazy idea, like it's not crazy.
oh,
Of
yeah.
like, oh yeah, gallery show, Tokyo, whatever. Yeah, of course, like do that,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
would love to be able to put on, like, my own show and my own, like, gallery kind of thing, and those things are just expensive to do, and, I don't make a lot of income, so it's just like, how do I don't know. I gotta figure out ways to, like, raise money to do those kinds of things and,
Hmm.
you know
Or do you do them in places where they're not normally done to cut your
I'm
costs or
down for
something like that?
that. I'm obviously down
Total
for that.
DIY kind of thing. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
you and I both know bands that set up underneath bridges and shit like that, or
Oh, man,
but
I've played some
yeah,
crazy shows, yeah. I've slept on so
like
many concrete floors too.
yeah, yeah, house
I've done it
shows in
all.
Brooklyn, like where the floor is ready to cave in, shit like that. I've experienced like
Yeah.
that shit's scary. Like that's
Yeah.
not supposed to happen, but
I'm so glad that I have that experience. Like, I'm so
hmm.
thankful because I play guitar, so I played in a few bands,
Yeah.
few years. I toured with another band called Vasudeva doing, like, photography stuff.
Oh, cool.
We've toured across the states. They toured with, I think the biggest tour that we did was with Chon and Dance Gavin Dance.
John, I've seen John. Yeah, they're
Chon's
amazing.
sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Vasudeva did a tour with them in, forgot what year it was. And then we did a tour with Sleep Makes Waves,
Okay.
another
Okay.
sick band from
Yeah.
Australia. We
Cool.
did Europe, and then did Japan. It was sick. I miss doing it. Like that was something I feel like that's been stripped from me is that previous life, and I miss it.
Ooh.
I miss it because
Mm.
I really thought that I would just keep doing that, and then COVID happened, and just shit with the band and stuff happened, and
Sure.
I miss it.
That's you mean like following and documenting that kind of stuff, photography wise. Yeah, that stuff.
That's
Yeah.
why I do the work that I do. It's so exactly that. It's just of the everyday what I see, like that's just what I do. And I can't
Yeah.
pretend to do anything else. Even like portrait stuff or like I love doing like candid event stuff.
Okay.
That's kind of because again, it's just like documenting what's happening, you know.
Right. Right. No, there's so much in that world to do. But yeah, to your point, like I'm sure you don't want to shoot weddings.
I've done one and I never want to do it again, man.
I mean,
Like,
I'm nothing close to a photographer, but I know photographer like
yeah,
that's a
man.
common
I
sentiment.
I had this one job. I was working at this country day camp.
Okay.
Had like 1,200 kids. Like the big operation. Really fun. I was there for 2 months. I think I did it for 2 years. And it was actually the closest thing I've ever got to like a job that I really enjoy, like just having the freedom to just photograph what the way that I want. And then they can
Hmm.
use it for whatever marketing purpose and just pay me and let me just make good work.
Hmm.
I need to find something else like that because it was so rewarding. It was so fun. It was a lot of work, but like actually doing something that I enjoy and like the energy, just being around
Hmm.
like kids like that too. And they all like everyone respected me, everyone left me alone. And then I got respect from like the owner. I got the walkie. Like
Oh,
I got the
yeah.
walkie, dude.
You were part of something. You were
Yeah,
part of something, and it was the
exactly. I was part
energy. And when you do, yeah, I felt that too. When you work that hard, but you're still like left with energy at the end of the day, like because of like it's just so fulfilling.
I would edit down and send like 500 pictures at the end of the day.
Wow.
Dude, I crafted my post processing during that time. So I was able to like get better and better and better at it.
Right.
And actually it teaches you a lot about color and tone and just like getting better at looking at it more intuitively and quickly. And
Yeah.
I learned a lot from those couple years doing so much work like that. So
Yeah.
I value that.
Got to get back to that
I
somehow,
know.
some way.
I know. Yeah, I do miss being on tour though, and just like especially with Vasudeva. I would only tour with Vasudeva. There was one
Yeah.
time I toured with a band called Frameworks.
Okay.
Really sick band. You
Yeah.
would like them, hardcore
Yeah. Okay.
from Florida. And
Yeah.
they toured with Modern Life is War. I'm sure you've heard
Oh
of
wow. Yeah,
that
definitely heard
band.
them. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so there's some crazy
Yeah, I'm
shows
sure.
with that.
I'm sure. Yeah,
That
boy.
band's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, that live performance stuff. Like I work with labels, doing e-commerce stuff, whatever. Like
Mm,
obviously night and day difference between what actually goes on in the live performance stuff is a whole nother world. Whole nother world. So um yeah, that's some cool stuff.
yeah. Love
Well,
music.
yeah, dude. Well, hey, we hit an hour here. I should probably go do work that I don't want to do.
I
But
gotta go. I'm helping out a farmer that I know, pecan farmer. I gotta go
oh,
help him shell some pecans. So
all right, cool. Well, it's good talking to you, dude.
yeah, this is fun. I'm glad we did this.
Absolutely. I'll download this in a bit and send you a link and do whatever you want with it or whatever and however.
Yeah,
And cool.
yeah,
Good stuff.
awesome.
Let's be in touch.